I'm Maximillian Kent.
Good evening. I am Jacob Murtagh, and welcome to Liberty Politics. After a brief summer recess, we return to a rapidly evolving political landscape, one that has been marked by a significant development in the race for the presidency. What began as a contest between the incumbent president, Joe Biden, and former President Donald Trump has taken a dramatic turn.
In an unprecedented move, President Biden has announced in July that he would not seek re-election, becoming the first sitting president to withdraw the race since Lyndon B. Johnson in 1968. This decision left the Democratic Party with a critical decision to make during a pivotal election year. After weeks of deliberation, Vice President Kamala Harris emerged as the party's nominee, with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz selected as her running mate.
Now we look at each candidate's campaign policy for 2024. Starting with Kamala Harris's domestic policy, her campaign has focused on defending women's reproductive rights in the United States. She has also promised not to sign a bill that bans abortion nationwide, and instead a bill that protects reproductive rights if Congress passes legislation. She is also committed to working with the legislative branch for a bipartisan bill to address the border crisis on the U.S.-Mexico border. Her economic policy would focus on environmental initiatives to fight off climate change, create new jobs, and support the middle class.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump has campaigned on securing the border with Mexico. His administration will initiate a mass deportation of undocumented immigrants from the United States. Trump is likely to continue his first-term border policies if elected a second time. Economically, Trump has advanced unleashing America's energy by continuing fracking and research in nuclear technology. He's also been a vocal of protecting American infrastructure from China by enacting heavy regulation on Chinese companies and access of American infrastructure.
The first presidential debate between Vice President Harris and former President Trump took place. Early polling suggests a competitive race, with Harris currently holding a slight advantage. According to data from 538, Harris is polling by 48%, with Trump close behind at 45.5%. In key battleground states, Harris holds a narrow lead: New Michigan by 1.5 points, Wisconsin by 2.6 points, and Pennsylvania by just 0.6 points. These margins, while slim, could prove decisive as the election draws closer. Now, I wanted to discuss the polling with you, Maximilian.
Absolutely.
What do you think about the current landscape of the polling in general?
I think right now it's too close. I mean, every number is just inches from each other. I think it's just too close to call right now.
I agree with that statement. We look at, for example, the 2016 polling that suggested that Hillary Clinton would have won the election, but what ended up was we had a Trump victory.
Exactly.
And Harris losing that election.
Yeah, that is my exact same fear that I think that might happen this time. Who knows? One thing that I've noticed in this election is one small event is changing the polling numbers. I mean, Trump was in the lead until Kamala Harris in the Trump debate. Now, Kamala Harris is in the lead, so something else could happen before the election where it might put Trump back ahead.
Now, I did have a follow-up question on that. Do you think that the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life is going to affect the polling in the future?
Oh, absolutely. I think his supporters with the second assassination attempt are keeping him strong in the polls. I mean, I know he's around 40% right now, and I think that and the conspiracy theories around behind that are definitely keeping him strong in the polls.
Moving on, the political drama didn't end with the debate itself. In an unexpected turn of events, pop culture collided with politics when immediately following the ABC-hosted presidential debate, renowned singer Taylor Swift publicly endorsed Kamala Harris for the presidency. Swift took to Instagram, where she shared her support for the Democratic candidate with her millions of followers. Swift's endorsement quickly gained traction online, with her posts garnering widespread attention. Days later, the former president responded to Truth Social, posting a blunt statement: "I hate Taylor Swift."
In addition to the political battle, concerns over security have intensified. In July, former President Trump was the target of assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. A second attempt was recorded in September at his Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida. Both incidences have sparked bipartisan calls for heightened security measures. However, these efforts have been complicated by ongoing budgetary constraints, raising questions about the efficiency security can be bolstered in the final weeks of the campaign.
As the election day approaches, the questions surrounding voter fraud eligibility and voting methods have become significant concerns, particularly among Republicans. In recent reports from USA Today, suggests that nearly half of the Republican voters may not accept the results if their candidate loses. This growing skepticism is raising concerns about a potential dispute and challenges after the election. Many Republicans have voiced concern about the security of the voting process, particularly with mail-in ballots and absentee voting. While there has been no substantial evidence of widespread voter fraud in previous elections, the issue remains a central point of discussion. The possibility that a significant portion of the electorate might reject the results could lead to a political and legal confrontation, especially if the race is closely contested.
Well, Jacob, it seems there's a lot to cover in the next few weeks before the election.
Sure does seem like it. But here at Liberty Politics, we will keep you up to date on the state of the election. Now, this wraps up things here. Thank you for watching this evening, and we will see you next time. And always, liberty starts with the people.